Hello, this is Samir for ThinkDigit.com, and today we're going to take a look at an Android phone which is a little different from what we're used to seeing in the market. You may remember there are certain phones that try to sell out a USP so that their phones are distinguished from the other run-of-the-mill phones available in the market. The addition of a projector in a smartphone is nice and has been tried on earlier by Intex, if you remember the Intex Mini Theater phone. Today we have with us the Samsung Galaxy Beam. The phone costs approximately 27,000 rupees, runs on Android 2.3 Gingerbread, and has a projector. Is it good enough to catch your attention? Well, let's take a look. To start with, the design of the phone is a little bigger and thicker than what you are expected to see in the market. It is almost 15 millimeters in thickness and it's a little bit thicker than what you'll find in the market. The thickness is simply due to the projector which rests on the top of the device. In its weight too, it weighs about 156 grams, which is slightly heavier than other phones in its category, but that's okay considering the phone brings with it a new feature. To start with the design and the build of the phone, it has a 4-inch TFT capacitive touchscreen display on the front, which is nice. The colors on the display are nice. The display is vibrant and quite good to use. The disadvantage is that if you use the device in sunlight, you're gonna have problems looking at the display because it's susceptible to a lot of glare. The second problem is that if you leave the brightness on auto, the auto brightness is slightly dimmer than what we'd like to see on the smartphone. Below the screen, you have the standard set of buttons, which is the menu, the back, and a central physical button, which is the home button. The menu and the back buttons are touch sensitive. Above the screen on the left of the earpiece, we have the front-facing camera that is used for video chat. On the left of the device, we have the headphones jack, the volume rocker, and the SIM card slot. It's nice that the SIM card slot isn't below the battery, so you can just change or insert and remove your SIM anytime you want. The flap is nice as it protects the SIM. On the right of the device, similarly, you have a slot for the micro SD card slot. You have the on-off sleep-wake button and a button that switches on and off the projector. All the buttons are quite nicely laid out and they're comfortable to use as the phone fits well in one's hands. The rear of the device houses the 5 megapixel camera and the LED flash. The rear of the device has a nice rubberized, slightly textured finish to it, which not only adds a good grip to the device, but it also feels slightly premium and is a nice addition to the device. What some people may not appreciate is the dual color tone. It's black and yellow. It's not that it's not bad, it's just that it's a little gaudy and it just looks a little uncomfortable in terms of the color tone used. So under the hood, the Galaxy Beam is powered by a 1 GHz dual-core processor, has 768 MB of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage, expandable up to 32 GB via micro SD card. The hardware under the hood is quite standard and at par with most Android smartphones, which are around the 20,000 rupee price range, but it still isn't the best there is out there. The smartphone runs on Android 2.3 Gingerbread and is upgradable to Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. The user interface is skinned with Samsung's TouchWiz UI. Anyone who has ever used a Samsung Android smartphone in the past will feel right at home. For starters, you have the 7 customizable home screens which you can load with apps and widgets to your heart's content. The apps are very simply listed in the apps lister and it's very easy to navigate. You have access to the Google Play Store for apps and the overall experience is as good as any other Samsung smartphone available in the market. So the smartphone comes with a standard keyboard QWERTY layout which you can use to type. It also comes with swipe, which is really nice. So if you want to type, you can just swipe across the alphabets that you want and they pop up and it's really good. The swipe input may take a little bit of getting used to for those that are not accustomed to it, but it is a handy addition nonetheless. In terms of its everyday performance, the phone performs quite well. Checking mail, browsing the internet, playing games or running apps from the Google Play Store, all are absolutely fine. The 4-inch display is great at what it does, with its only disadvantage being its susceptibility to glare if you're going to be using the device outdoors. Indoors, the viewing angles are great. Most of the apps and browsing experience was quite good. One disadvantage of the device is that it did not recognize all the file formats we wanted to play on it natively. So if you wanted to play a few videos, the MOV and MP4 files were not supported directly. We had to download a third-party app from the Google Play Store to run these videos. Since the USP of this device is its projection capabilities, we're just going to skip ahead and tell you of how the projector performs. To get the projector on, all you need to do is press the projector on button on the side here, and the projector comes on. It gives you instant access to a few functionalities such as adjusting the focus, rotating the orientation of the image on screen, and enabling QuickPad. Now QuickPad is a very handy function with the projector app on this phone. The app gives you easy access to a few functionalities. For example, if you're showcasing a presentation on screen and need to highlight certain aspects, you can just use the pointer, and whatever you tap on screen, a little mouse appears on the projection image, which also tracks your fingers movement. This makes it easy if you want to portray certain points on the display or highlight certain things on screen. You also have access to a pen app. Now this app on the projector helps you highlight certain images or text on screen as and when you'd like it. You also have an eraser to get rid of your markings almost instantaneously. To conclude, we would like to say that a projector phone is nothing new. It's not something that we haven't already seen. But a projector phone that also works as an OHP, has a smartphone OS, is something nice, new and innovative. The device is a little thick and at a price point of 27,000 rupees, a little steep. If you are in the market to pick up a nice high-end smartphone, you have much better options available elsewhere. But if you want a phone that has a projector, well, you can consider the Galaxy Beam.